All right, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Backcast. Ryan, I'm up here talking with Braydon Kenny about Batman, the animated series, and this week's episode is Bullet for Bullock. How are you doing today, sir?
I feel a little disappointed. I thought this was a ballet for Bullet. I thought that we were going to see him in a tutu.
That would make for an interesting episode, yeah. So I definitely thought this was a different episode because I remember I think I have mentioned this in an earlier episode that there's an episode where like the Joker is kind of fucking with Bullock, and I thought that was this episode because I thought the we're probably I mentioned it again, but like the part where he goes into his apartment and he sees the roaches and stuff. I thought that was part of that episode, but apparently it was not. So it would be interesting once we get to that episode to see if I see if I actually remember as much as I do from it, really.
Are you suggesting that after Bullock has had an attempt on his life due to bad actions, that he continues to piss people off and make more enemies? He doesn't learn the moral lesson?
Well, he is a cop, so you know.
Yeah, true.
Yes, but as I said, this episode is a bullet for a book. It is the 67th episode produced, but yet the 87th episode to air, which is probably weird if you're following us watching this. Is probably why it has the Adventures of Batman and Robin intro instead of just the regular intro for it, because we've already recorded it, but we'll be watching Trial next week, and it definitely doesn't have that either. So I was kind of expecting to see it for that one and didn't forgot to mention it. So it'd be interesting to see when that intro like that starts for good for us. I'm not gonna look ahead, but it'd be interesting. But yes, as I said, it's the 87th episode to air, having it air on September 14th, 1995. Yes, but as I said, the later airing is why it has the different intro. Yeah, so and I didn't remember much about this episode. Yeah, because I had forgotten what the reveal was at the end. Do you remember watching
Yeah,
this episode when it first aired?
I've never seen this episode before. I know it's talked a lot by people who are big fans of the show and have like listed it as like one of their top 10 like favorite episodes. Um the thing, I'm not saying this is a bad episode. It was a nice intro into kind of like a bit of an introspective into Harvey Bullock and kind of his approach as a cop and stuff like that. It's slightly better than the Vendetta episode because that's I think where I kind of was like, okay, so this is a little bit similar. The only difference is that Harvey goes to Batman for help. In that one, like Batman thought that like he was just corrupt as he kind of like judging a book by its cover. But this episode's actually based on a comic story of the same name, Detective Comics number 651 from October 1992 by Chuck Dixon. So yeah, it's 95 is the air date. So yeah, it sounds like they had it kind of recently into catching the writer's eye. And the episode won an Emmy Award for outstanding music direction and composition, which we'll get to towards like at least some point of the recap here. Because what were your thoughts on the music here?
None of it really, other than like the little jazzy stuff in the intro, like the title card. It didn't really stick out really for me. So I guess I can't really. It doesn't. Yeah. So I guess it didn't leave a mark for me really because I can't really think of any of the music offhand. Now that you're mentioning it, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's weird that it is. Yeah, so it won an Emmy for music.
that's what it
You said?
says. Yeah.
Huh, weird. Yeah, what about you? Did you notice any of the music or did it stick out?
I noticed like especially like when we got to like one of the last fight scenes, like that's where it's like, okay, that and the opening, like they're going for this da 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 kind of jazz tempo, which I'm like, all right, this is kind of like for kind of a gumshoe kind of noir feel, I guess, but I don't know, like I feel like the BTOS music people have done better work than this. I don't know, like
Yeah, so yeah, but so the episode starts off with like Bullock like walking home. Probably it looks like he's on his way, on his way home. And you see did you like you see in the reflection in the mirror? It kind of I think they kind of made it look kind of like the Joker on purpose. You think, or it is like you're supposed to just have like a sinister looking face on
It was very cartoonish, and that's why I thought at first, like, okay, is this the Joker? Is this like Penguin? Well, maybe if it was Penguin, I guess you'd see the monocle, but yeah, I was like, is this a supervillain? Like, who is this guy?
But yeah, then you see him like almost get run over, and does he actually take a couple shots at the car as it runs away, or
He
do he
does.
just pulls gun? No, yeah, they takes a couple. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't be surprised that or asking if he did. It should be assumed at this point, I think. But okay, enough of this cop jokes for me for now. But yeah, it takes off, and he's like all. But yeah. They go. It goes back up, and they does. Yeah, is that where you see the roaches, or is it uh, is this
Not
or is this the part where he like where he goes in and like he's all got his feet are all muddy and the landlord's like yelling at him for being a slob pretty much.
That doesn't
Or is that
happen quite yet because what happens is like we see this like shot of the moon and it transitions to the bat signal.
oh okay.
And so Batman goes to the top of the police headquarters. He's like, Commissioner. And Bullock is around the corner. He says, "It's not the commissioner, it's me." And he says, "I need your help." I was almost wanting to see like like in Happy Days when like Fonzie has to admit he's wrong. I almost wanted Bullock to go like, "I need your help. I need your help." It's like, come on, slow words,
It's like
get it out.
why can't I say
But yeah, he's like, like I've got a bunch of threats. Like somebody was following me and tried to run me over. Apparently, this has happened twice now. And he says, "Well, why don't you just go to the?" Well, first he says, like, "Let me put something straight to you. You're a freak and a menace, and those are your good qualities." And Batman's like, "Yeah, I have sticks and stones, whatever." And he says, I need somebody to look into like who's going after me. And Batman says, "Why don't you talk to the police department?" And he says, "I don't want internal affairs like, getting too close to me." And he's like, "Are you on the take?" He's like, "Watch it, freak."
no, I'm just a bad cop. There's a subtle difference there.
And that's the thing is like because in the comics, Bullock was like originally a corrupt cop who eventually just kind of became like a loose with the rules kind of personality as like we've kind of know him to be today. That obviously like they're kind of brushing that kind of conclusion away because like one there's this thing of the censors saying like we can't have any corrupt cops. Gil Mason, sorry. Um, but yeah, we're gonna make sure that we try and set the tone here that this isn't about like him taking graft or taking a bribe. I don't even know if there's a difference between what graft and bribe is, but whatever. So yeah, he says, like, who do you think's after you? He says, "Oh, I haven't made enough enemies that have their own zip code." Shouldn't Batman be considering looking at Killer Croc first, considering that he tried to kill him last time?
Well, they don't do it twice like that. That close together. So, so he's like, so maybe like the Joker or the Riddler maybe next, but
Maybe.
not, or maybe this is happening at the same time where Killer Croc's out with the the traveling freak show or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
and
he's
he's
out,
being taken away by the helicopter
yeah, so
Arkham guards.
yeah, so he's out of town right now. So
Yep. And I think after that, I think that's when he's going home, right? That's where he goes to his landlord, Nivens, who is like this very snooty, like he's wearing like a smoking jacket. He's like, "You're trailing in mud on the carpet again, Bullock." He's like, "I thought you were the doormat around here, Nivens." He's like, "Oh, how dare you!" Like, he's very foppish. I love.
yeah, but even still, like, but I don't blame him for not liking Bulk though, yeah, because he's like fucking like dripping wet and he's like all muddy and shit, and then like he's like Man, like, take out your trash because it smells and turn down your fucking heat, man. Which is probably making the trash smell even worse if it's fucking like super warm in there and stuff. So
Well,
yeah,
that
so
and
I
also
imagine
like think of your gas bill, Bullock. Like,
that. Yeah, and I think this is right where you see him open the door, and then I think I've mentioned this in an earlier episode. Yeah, like it looks like a shot hole in the wall. Looks It kind of looks like a gun. So he pulls his draws his gun, and then he turns it on. It's just like roaches, and he's like, "Oh, thank God!" And they scurry into a hole in the wall.
thank God, it's only 30 roaches like crawling into a hole in the side of my apartment wall. Yeah, and then he goes out for a coffee on the balcony. He's just like, ah, thank God for rent control. It's like, okay.
Yeah, which just made me think of Joe's apartment with the roaches and rent control.
Yeah.
Just totally popped in my head. Yeah, I didn't think of that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was at Jerry O'Connell was in that, I think.
It sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, or yeah, I think it was him. Yeah, so
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is before he left Batman, he gave him like a file to look at some possible like cases that might be related to somebody looking at him. So Batman goes back to the Batcave where Alfred's like, and this was Harvey Bullock, the same Harvey Bullock who looks like an unmade bed who asked you for help. He's like, yeah, it's gonna be great to gloat over this for his rest of his career. And he says like it's gonna take the computer a while to like cross reference or whatever he says. Like it's gonna take the computer a while to get the information I need.
yeah.
And so,
But would you trust a disc from Bulk though that you wouldn't put into the police system, which means he probably had it at his home computer. Do you know how many fucking porn?
oh
You know
no.
how many porn viruses are on that thing?
Oh, yeah.
Because he doesn't strike me a guy who would know how to that would use like antivirus and pop-up blockers and stuff on his
Oh
computer
no.
and also like visit like the more seedier sites, I would imagine. So hopefully Batman had the forethought to install some good custom
He,
antivirus software
he
before
grabs
you just started looking open.
he grabs Bullock. Damn it, Harvey, my computer is full of porn now.
Or is this like
And
an
weird
elaborate
hentai too.
or is this like a weird a real weird plot for Harvey just to put like some like keystroking software on Batman's computer?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Damn
I'll
it,
finally
why
get the
did I
password.
accept cookies?
I'll finally get the password for the Bat credit card.
There you go. Bullock's smarter than we gave him credit. Yeah, so Batman says to Alfred, I'm going out. I think that Harvey's gonna need a guardian angel right about now. So as this is happening, him and Montoya are doing a break-in to this hideout. Or I think he said like these guys like like knocked up a couple of like bank security guards. So they bust in. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't only like SWAT team members allowed to have shotguns in the police force? Why does Bullock have a shotgun?
It's probably his personal shotgun, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I take this with me everywhere.
What? Less paperwork that way. Yeah, so they are like freeze and like they flip the table and like this one guy goes like running up to the roof and Bullock's chasing him and they get into a I think that the guy's about to shoot Harvey and Batman comes in and takes him down and he's like what are you doing here? He's like I had a feeling you were gonna have some like trouble coming your way and I was right.
Yeah. He says like I asked you if I look up some names, not hold my hand. He's like, yeah, I figured I probably need some help or whatever. So like, of course, yeah, like yeah, be a better cop and like you think of a Bulk would probably have like a better like his head on a swivel more than he did in that part if Especially if he knew like somebody was trying to get at him, you think he'd be a little bit more like on his toes, but
Yeah.
apparently not.
He's probably half drunk, like with like the nerves he's going through right now. Like just like he's like just buzzed. He's buzzed Bullock today. Yeah. Yeah. So that I think as he says like I'll come to you because I've got some questions. He's like, well, how will I find you? I'll find you. And of course, okay, I think this is the episode with the most of Batman disappearing on him, which because it's a Bullock-centered episode, I don't think is a coincidence. Like he's just doing it more often because he wants to screw with Bullock. Because even if it's just like basic things like "I'll find you" and then he's gone, he's hey Bats, I'm ordering some Chinese food. Do you want Kung Pao chicken? Ah, damn it, you're gone already. Like,
Yeah, I think is that the part where he says like, yeah, I wonder how Gordon puts up with this.
yeah,
And then I think that's after that is when he see him going down into into the subway. I think it was like that
not
like right away.
quite yet, because he goes back to his apartment, and because we've had the original thing of him thinking like when he's opening the
Oh,
every time he's coming
okay.
in his apartment now, he's like carefully looking in to see if anybody's there. He sees a flutter on the like the shadow like on the open window, and he pulls a gun, and of course it's Batman. He's like, I told you I was gonna go find you. He's like, geez, you're gonna give me a heart attack. It's like, yeah, you'll hear cholesterol probably faster than you think. Like,
Yeah, it's not me that's giving you a heart attack, it's you.
yeah, yeah, and I think he says, oh yeah, he's like trying to like they're talking for a bit, and like Bullock has left like a pizza like on the table of his apartment, like half open. Dude, you have roaches in your house. I like, yeah, bet you want a slice? Not a chance in hell. Like, and I forget what they talk about, but he basically pulls another one on him and like just like disappears. So I guess the pizza wasn't enough to fill him because then we have him go to Dunko Donuts. Get it? And
No, I, I don't get
yeah, yeah. I'll show you a
it.
couple Super Bowl ads. Might be another Batman actor in there. Wink. And
He was the bomb.
so
He was the bomb with Phantoms, yo.
yeah. So he's got like a whole like bag full of donuts and like a pop. He's like taking down to like the subway, and he's like heading down there, and all of a sudden somebody pushes him onto the tracks as like a train is coming, and he just kind of goes ah! As and then it's a quick commercial break, and then we
Yeah,
realize it's the
yeah. I'm not sure.
adjacent track.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I was so surprised to see like a subway in Gotham City, even though it being a big city. But because like that, I feel like the elevated trains are showing more than anything. And I think
Oh,
the
true.
yeah the Robin episode. And I think the Robin episode where like yeah, they're down there and the water main breaks or whatever the fuck, and they end up getting flooded. So we already seen that, and that was like recently. So like had forgotten about that momentarily, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, where'd the subway come from?
Yeah,
I was like, oh yeah, big city, yeah, big city. Like as BB in Toronto, I could say I should be surprised that there's a subway there.
yeah, yeah.
But
No,
knowing Gotham is probably not like super safe, so it's probably like no, it probably barely gets used.
Harvey makes extra money patrolling the ghetto subway line with his regulated shotgun.
Regulated.
Yeah. Paperwork. Yeah. Holy
I'll
crap.
do it eventually.
He's probably got an entire like bank vault size like probably all his paperwork's at his apartment actually. He's probably like feeding it to the mice.
No, or it's not feeding mice. The mice are just eating it
Yeah.
because of how gross this place is. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like covering it in pizza grease so that he's like got more incentive for them to eat it. Like
Well, no, it's not on purpose. It's just that's how freaking gross this place is. He just puts it down, and then like 5 seconds later, a mouse is eating it because it's they're there and there's nothing else to eat.
That's what we call a happy little accident in Bullock's case because he doesn't want to do the paperwork anyway.
So yeah, then I think you show him like they see him at the office the next day, and he's like going to try and drink some coffee, and his like hands are shaking and stuff, and then Montoya comes in, and he's like, "Oh, you look worse than you usually do, Bulk."
Yeah. It's like, you work here 15 years, you tell me how good you look. And it's like, I mean, you work in Gotham, fair point. Like, also, fun fact, apparently this is a new voice actress for Montoya. I think she does it for the rest of the series. Let me quickly look up. Leanne Shermer replaces Ingrid Oliu as the new voice for Renee Montoya. But we haven't seen a whole lot of Montoya like as the series has progressed. She's very much been a secondary character. So yeah, it's kind of a shame that like it's kind of a thing that I wouldn't have noticed unless pointed out to me.
Yeah,
Because yeah, it's I don't think Renee really makes much of a impression until post this series, right? Like in the
yeah, yeah,
comics.
yeah, yeah. I get, yeah, because I think they eventually bring her over to the comics too, and I think she becomes the Question at one point, right? I think.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, this is all definitely post this show. Yeah, just like Harley. Yeah, like kind of just like. But I think Harley probably hit in the show a lot more than Summer did. So or not Summer. That's the Free Porter.
Yeah.
Right, looking at that, but yeah, yeah. But I said yeah. I don't think Renee really popped until definitely after the show. Really.
But speaking of Summer,
We'll
we're
tell you.
about to see Summer in a moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Because yeah, so Batman approaches Harvey, who he's saying I think I've been able to narrow it down to somebody, Vinny the Shark, and I think he said like he was supposed to get like a longer sentence, but he only got 8 years and he's out now.
Yeah, it was like 20 years. I think yeah, I got out in like 6 or 8. Yeah,
Yeah, so he says like, what did he say to Bullock? Because like Bullock says I'm not gonna like look into something like, and Batman grabs him by the collars like, do you want to live, Bullock? Like, swear to me.
yeah, but I bet you Bullock probably wasn't expecting that at all.
Also, think of how heavy Bullock is. Like, I know Batman lifts, but dang, like he lifts him off the ground. But what's funny is, okay, so two things here. One, he says like Summer was looking into he verbatim says the word crack houses. uh, that like you should go talk to her and see about finding some information on the crack houses. He says it twice, so like I was like, did I just hear the word crack houses on a '90s cartoon show? I definitely did. And then Harvey says, "Yeah, I'll go see the woman," which
Uh,
seems apropos for Harvey to be
but
calling
yeah,
Summer that.
Bullock.
Yeah, surprised he didn't say the dame or the broad. Yeah, so he goes talking to Summer, and she's like, I think editing like some footage that she shot, and he's like, hey Gleason, I need a favor. She's like, you owe me for the last favor and the favor before that and the favor before that. It's like, ah, come on, look at this handsome face. And he's just like, come on, you want to do this for a sleazy old ball like me? And I forget what she said, but like
No, she's
she's
like, yeah. She's like, said, come back in an hour. I'll be able to tell you about whatever and stuff. So, but that's he just ends up going into her office and just rifles through all her shit, and then she walks into her office like an hour later, and it's like shit's fucking everywhere.
yeah, real good detective work there, leaving a big ass trail for her to follow or walk in on. And she's like, "Don't you ever come into my office again?" He's like, "But this is my life." And she's like, "Yeah, well, I would probably pay for the guy to take you out then." She doesn't say that. She's probably thinking it though.
Yeah, you acting like this. I don't. I don't blame somebody wanting to kill you.
Yeah. So I think that he's walking down the street, and that's when Batman pulls up and just says, "Get in, loser. We're going hunting." And he gets in the front seat, and he's like, What kind of rocket ship is this or something? He sees this one button and Batman's just like screwing with him. He's like, what's this thing do? Passenger ejection seat. And he's like, eh. And you see this smile on Batman's face. You know what's funny though? If you remember the Mad Hatter episode,
It probably is.
it probably is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not guaranteed to be that button, but we know there is a button in that car that will do that.
Or just I know in Bad Bullock so lucky it actually probably that probably was the one he would choose to friggin' the one button he points at is actually the one he doesn't want the most.
Yeah,
Ejectocito, cuz.
that's the instant donut button, Bullock. Go ahead, press it. Ah, great.
No,
Just what I wanted.
but I think before that scene though is when yeah, Batman was in goes and interrogates that guy
Oh
and
yeah.
figures out that yeah, you see this this guy walking down the street and Batman like swings in and gets him and brings him up to the top of the building and drops him off. Or I guess he's he's asking about Vinny and he says like, oh, he's not my hookup anymore. And he's like, oh, wrong answer, and friggin' drops him. And then grapple hooks him and gets him under this kind of does that and pulls him up right in front like the truck was coming and pulls him up like just in time to scare him a little bit. And this like kind of made me think of it. You ever see Darkman?
Very briefly.
The Sam Raimi movie, yeah, it's like where I think it was like an early like Liam Neeson movie where he was like
Hmm.
the lead, and he was like interrogating one of the guys that fucking blew up his he was like researching like fake skin for like skin grafts or some shit or something like that. I think it was. And anyway, so he's like got one of the guys that they get bad that they came and broke in, blew up the place for whatever reason. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it. And he's like going after them. And he's like in the sewers, and he just like has his head above out the sewer thing, and there's like big traffic going on. He's like trying to interrogate him. He's like, "Come on," so he ends up like just pull him down like right before he gets smoked by a car and stuff because cars are like just went by. So it just that just made me think of that scene for for some reason.
That's good. Yeah, I could totally see Batman doing that too. It's
Yeah,
like, oh, it's about rush hour right now. Pop
yeah,
goes the weasel.
yeah, yeah. I think they might have even said he might have even said that during that scene too. I
Yeah,
think.
that's good. I love it when I'm like in mental sync with Hollywood screenwriters, even if it's from the 90s. But yeah, so they're on their way to go see Vinny the Shark, and Batman's not entirely positive it is Vinny that's been sending Bullock the letters. Well, we'll get to that later on. But Bullock's like, well, we're gonna go and look into it anyway. So, fun fact: Vinny the Shark is voiced by Greg Berger, who is also the voice of Kraven the Hunter and Mysterio from the '90s Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, thought you'd like that. And what was it? Oh yeah, so they go into his hideout, and that's okay. That's when like the jazz music kicks in as like they I think they got caught in like the middle of a car, right? Like because they like got guns pulled on them, and Vinny's like waste them, and all of a sudden is that kind of tap tap like do 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 kind of musical score, and I'm like, I guess this is where they're getting the Emmy award from, like this particular scene, but like I don't know, like it's very it just doesn't seem like the right tone to be putting it to this scene, to me at least. I don't know. Maybe that's my lack of artistic vision, maybe.
I guess, yeah.
And
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that the music didn't stick out for me, even though it's supposed to be like focus on it. But I guess
yeah.
which I guess which we just clean instead. It didn't deserve it, I guess, because it didn't stick out.
So we have them having this like fight scene with Vinny and the thugs, and Bullock is like running across like a catwalk trying to catch up with Vinny. I think he grabs onto a chain like okay, Bullock is fat. Let's be real here. He grabs onto a chain like he's Tarzan, and swings in and like, like kicks him under the ground. I'm like, you're not an action hero, dude. You were eating pizza like 12 hours ago.
Where do you think you got all that energy from?
Yeah.
It's all the food groups in one, man. Come on.
Yeah. I'll take the meat lover special with Red Bull, please. Yeah, so they managed to bring him into the interrogation, and he's like to Vinny, he's like, "Well, I finally got you, Vinny, and now you can stop sending me those letters." He's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." It's like, "Nice try, wise guy." No, for real, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, "All right, book him. See." It's like, "Book me for what?" And whatever. He's getting charged for whatever crime he was, caught doing. And he says to Renee, he's like, you know, I don't feel like he's lying, but I don't feel like this is over. Well, then he's lying. It's one or the other, Bullock. the So he says he's walking down the street, and okay, I did not see this twist coming. I'll
Yeah,
let
yeah,
you catch
yeah.
the
I'd forgotten because I said with the earlier episode, the earlier part in the episode where he pulls his gun on the roaches. I'd remember that part. So I had seen this episode before, but yeah, I'd totally forgotten that. Yeah, he's like walking home and just about to go up to the front steps to his apartment, and then the guy in the mask thing pulls up and with a gun. And he's like, "Oh, you weren't taking my hints, man. So I had to do this. So I have to fucking kill you now. Why won't you just fucking leave?" And he's like, and Bulk's like, "Wait a minute, I know that voice."
that snooty voice.
He's like, I know you and stuff, and then like manages to fucking take the mask off, and it turns out to be the fucking his like landlord's the one that's just trying to fucking scare him off and move out of the apartment because he's a fucking slob.
Yeah. Well, Batman came in and helped him take him down because,
Oh, yeah,
like,
that's right. Oh, yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
because
Yeah. Because you think, yeah, Batman came swooping in and they full force like double kicked him. So I think he just probably like broke a few ribs and probably like broke his back.
you've arguably beaten up like the Riddler less than this random
Yeah.
landlord.
Yeah, because I imagine like Batman's probably like not a small guy and probably has some like muscle to him, so he probably has some good weight behind him and like the whatever like how much his suit weighs and like the bat belt.
Yeah.
So that's fucking swinging. That's swinging from like the sixth or seventh floor and just full force 2 feet. Yeah, that guy's fucking dead.
Oh yeah. He's dead if not like, needing a lung transplant. Like
or,
one of my
or,
favorite
or
things in the Battinson movie is when he needs to like break out of like the police headquarters. So like he says to Gordon, he's like, "I'm about to punch you now." He's
Yeah,
like,
no, like Gordon tells him to punch him. He's like, punch
yeah,
me.
yeah,
He's like,
but
what?
when he clocks him and like breaks out later on, they meet up and he's like, "You could have pulled that punch, man." I did.
Or I said, no, you're a cop. You should know how to fucking learn how to take a punch better.
It's not my fault you have a glass jaw. But yeah, so Bullock's, like arresting Divins, and he's like, you know what? Maybe I should be, like moving out of my neighborhood. And Batman's like, you're not going anywhere. I'll see you the same time next week.
So what'd you give this episode of five bad tenants?
I am going to give it. I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5. I thought it was a nice Bullock Batman team up, and I like getting to see his kind of perspective on things, and it kept me guessing. I honestly did
Yeah,
not see that twist coming.
it's almost like early M. Night Shyamalan esque,
Yeah.
but good. But that's what I said early. Yeah, I heard something about that would like which it kind of rings true. Like that each of his movies is like 50% better than the one before. Yeah, about 50% as good as the one before it came out.
Oh no, how many movies has he made now?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Well, his last one was Trap, right, with Josh Hartnett and yeah, where he's like
Oh, at the
the
Rogers
serial killer.
Center.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They always the outside was the Rogers Center, and the inside was like the the place in Hamilton, whatever the Hamilton's the stadium or whatever it is. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah. So yeah, it was like they when I went to the Jays game on Saturday or on Friday with my girlfriend. I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, this just reminds me of that movie. Whatever. If he'll be here to try and kill us.
Yeah. What would you give this episode?
I guess I think I'll give it a 3 out of 5 as well. Yeah, because it's a decent bulk episode, but not the bulk episode I thought it was. Because I thought it was like the Joker bulk episode, but yeah, it's like a nice day in the life of Bullock and stuff. So I imagine that he probably this happens to him probably once every 3 months, I think. So so yeah, so I think I'll give it a 3 out of 5 as well. Alrighty, folks, that is the episode for this week. Thanks for joining us in the Batcave to talk about Batman the Animated Series. Next week's episode will be Trial, which is a fun one. It's definitely one of my more favorite episodes. So join us next week for that. Excuse me. You can follow us, sorry, not me, on Twitter /at Beyond Backcast, on Instagram at Beyond the Backcast. We are on YouTube now at youtube.com/at Beyond the Backcast. Check us out there, give us a review, subscribe, and on there or wherever you listen to your podcast, definitely help us out. Where can we find you on the internet, Braden?
You can find me on my podcast, Fandom and Folklore, where we talk about fantasy movies and TV shows and the fandoms that follow them. And if you want to find more of Beyond the Backcast, you can find us on Instagram, Beyond the Backcast, and follow our link tree to our Discord, where we talk about all sorts of Batman stuff.
Yes, and you can follow me on Instagram at StunkChunkman. That is my personal account. As I said, thanks for joining us in the Batcave to talk about Batman, the animated series at Beyond the Backcast. Goodbye, good chums. Kapow.